pretty terrible. There's not really many other words to describe it, but going into the draft here for Game 2, Lee Sin, Nidalee going to be focused out here away from Flawless. Of course, just going to keep that consistent. Malzahar was the last ban for CJ in that first game. Could very well see it come out yet again. Talia and the Twisted Fate going to be consistent. Their last ban was Shen. Could very easily be swapped out for a Gangplank, however.
Yeah, but you don't want to give Shy the Shen either. So bans will remain the same for CJ on this blue side.
Well, you have to make a choice here if you're SBENU.
I mean, the problem is basically that they haven't banned out Shy at all. When we looked at the Hongdu CJ games, they banned the Gnar, and we saw CJ actually banning the Gangplank even on blue side. So that left the Shen as a higher priority pick, but basically the problem is okay, they're going to ban the Rek'Sai. I don't know if I agree with that. Looks like they want to take the Gragas and force Haru onto sort of a secondary jungler here, but he can still play Elise pretty well, so not sure that's going to be effective. They're saying, okay, do you want the Gragas or the Gnar or the GP first, or the Vladimir, also another option. And with Sky's diminishing champion pool, looks like they are going to be forced to first pick the Vladimir, simply because the Talia and TF have already been banned.
Yeah, this opens up for SBENU to get a couple different picks in here. They could take the Gragas for themselves.
They
I'll
should
over the Elise right now. But
they should take Gragas GP or Gragas Gnar, depending on what matchup Soul is comfortable in. Remember, Soul has not played a Gangplank game yet this season.
Flawless did play Gragas in Game 3. Obviously didn't have success on that in the first best-of-3 set. But looks like he might be committed to this Elise, and the Gangplank could be taken away for Soul, which means that this opens up the Gnar for Sky.
Exactly. And the Gnar for Shy, he's just been so good on that champion compared to everything else. Now, remember, caveat, compared to everything else.
Yeah. The other time with this one will be the GP, and actually it's going to be the Jhin already snatched up here. Now, Mad Life coming in on the Bard in Game 1 didn't have any issue dispatching the Curtain Call with the Tempered Fate. So, still just trying to run this one for Nuclear. But this just opens up a lot of the draft here for CJ. Makes it pretty obvious. You see the hover of the Azir. I don't think we're going to see that one come out.
Oh, you definitely take the Gragas here. I don't know why SBENU would go for the Rek'Sai ban on red side if they weren't planning to early pick the Gragas, considering the Lee Sin and the Nidalee have also been banned out, so it pretty much forces Flawless onto Elise, which is fine. You do have the chain CC with the Jhin and some kill pressure with the GP. Haru might try and take the Elise here and go for a pick composition, but I really think Gragas is better.
Yeah, just go with the Gragas. You had success on it there in this first game. There's no need to change things up now, but they're going to do just that, and there's going to be the Echo coming in. So Shy really dominating the Gangplank in that game. It just happened. Now going to be trying the other side of the coin as he is going to be going in against the as the Echo against the GP.
But Shy hasn't played any Echo at all this season. That's not been a champion that we associate with him. Meanwhile, the Gnar has been his most played pick. You know, he didn't look good on the. He looked good in the laning phase on Gnar in their second game against Hongdu, but he couldn't find the flanks onto the poke comp in game number 2. So we'll see what he can do on the Echo instead, and perhaps he will be able to play the lane better. Will be a reverse matchup. So hopefully the combination of Elise and Echo does have kill pressure onto the GP. So that's probably why they wanted to draft these two champions immediately. But that means that Shy is going to have to do what Soul didn't and really play the wave close to his tower and wait for Haru to come help him.
Okay, well, Karma locked in, and Graves going to be coming out for Flawless. So not going to opt into the Gragas. That's perfectly available. Just going to move right back to this pick, which we haven't seen from him in quite some time.
So I like the mid Karma with the Graves and the Jhin and the GP. It is definitely going to be a mid Karma because you have to have the big shields with a lot of AP if you're going to run this triple AD composition, and you're going to need a tank support too. So whether it could be an Alistar here. If they run anything in the mid lane, this is such a glass cannon, SBENU might be in a lot of trouble.
It's just questionable because he's played this twice in the last month and a half, this Graves in the jungle, and it's a 50% win rate in that regard. So it just hasn't been one of the picks that he's brought out, but he's going to try it here today with Karma in tow. And now last picks coming through for the side of CJ. Ran Ash in the last game. Looks like they're just going to move over into the Sivir here for Kramer and back to the Bard for Mad Life.
Now, Mad Life is going to be able to stop the back line and a lot of the damage with the Temper Fate, but he also has to be really careful because the combination, the burst damage from Graves, Jhin, and GP is enormous, is absolutely huge. So Mad Life can get 100 to 0'd in record time. Now, Lehens did play a Blitzcrank game in the semifinals of Challenger. He did win that game, but this would be a pick comp, that's for sure. A very powerful pick composition, but a very transparent pick composition.
I mean, it's do or die time.
Do you really gamble your future in the top league in Korea on a Blitz pick?
It's looking like they very well may, unless they want a last pick mid.
Okay, that's better.
Okay, so flipping over to the Braum. Personally, I would love to see the Blitzcrank, but
no. The Braum fits the composition much better. You need a tank here. You need a tank. Otherwise, you are just going to give them free tickets into your back line.
Yeah, Blitzcrank's a tank. He's got a shield on his passive, Monty.
All right, okay.
He's a
Calm down
tank.
there. Calm down there.
He's engineered to tank.
Can't block boomerang blades.
You can stop him. You just grab him into you and you knock him up and you silence him, and there's no boomerang blades.
Yeah, well, good luck with the spell shield.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely would have been
shield,
bad.
Sanguine Pool. The odds of you
Repel.
hitting, the repel. The odds of you hitting hooks against that composition are not great.
Yeah, I know. I would just love to see the Blitz coming out for the sake of entertainment, not necessarily for the team comp. But Braum will fit in a lot better. So some decent comps from either side, but pretty class cannon overall on the side of SBENU. Not going to be nearly as tanky for a while, what with that Braum being the only real tank in this game, because Graves going to be looking for damage. GP obviously going to be glass cannon up at the top, and then the Karma just going to have the shields to rely on to keep people alive.
Yeah, huge burst potential. And Flawless is going Thunderlord's Graves in this game. We do see that on the loading screen, so really big damage on single targets. If you do get picked off, that will be pretty quick and easy for SBENU.
Yeah. Well, now loading in. We'll see if CJ can close this out with a 2-0. It would be a nice boost of confidence as they get ready for their potential match on Saturday. SBENU, they want to hold on and not get relegated. They need to win right here. Let's go ahead and get on the rip for game 2.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Alrighty. It's going to be an Ocean Drake to start things off. So we're going to take it nice
미니언
and easy
생성까지
yet again.
30초
So
남았습니다.
probably won't see that one picked up for quite some time into this game. But now CJ on the blue side, we'll see how they play this. They did quite well in game 1 playing from red. Whether or not they're going to have that same level of performance here, you have to be seen. Shy now on the Echo rather than the Gangplank.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this reverse matchup, just because I think Soul played it really poorly in game number 1. So maybe Shy can do a little bit better. The Gangplank was stolen away from him as a result of Sky's champion puddle, necessitating a first pick Vladimir, basically.
2 mid laners today that have a champion puddle.
Oh, Duke's here too now.
Yeah, you see, Duke joining in on the action. And he's going to be hanging out with the rest of the crew. So, yet again, just going to have that Grump and Krug start for the bottom lanes. Get that race over 2. So, Sasin getting this counter pick with the Karma into the Vladimir. Yet again, we saw him run this game 1 versus ESC. See how much success he can have on it this time around, though.
The composition is a lot better for the Karma than Game 1 against the ESC, though, because usually you want to run Karma with either a Gangplank in the top lane or an AD carry in the jungle, or in this case, both. You want to use that mobility that you give those carries as well as the tankiness so that you have just a ton of upfront burst damage. I'm not a big fan of Karma without one of those two conditions being met in team composition.
The other one we have to keep our eye on, of course, is going to be Flawless coming back in. Onto the Graves and Haru on the lease. You know, just played a pretty solid game on the Gragas. Has it available for him in the second rotation of picks, and just opts to take this pick away from Flawless.
What this tells me is that they really just want to shut down the GP, right? They see the GP, they immediately take Elise and Echo. The idea is to get those ganks, 100%.
Could be looking for this Wolf. Being taken pretty low, gets the Cocoon.
Nice.
Will be able to snipe it away with the Smite, so nicely done there by Haru. That's going to hurt Flawless quite a bit there as far as his gold and his experience goes.
Spider.
The worst kind.
Is that the worst kind? I don't know. What about a giant spider the size of a building? That's not very sneaky, but isn't that worse than a sneaky spider?
That's fine. I'm thinking about in the context of what you get into my apartment. The spider
the spider the size of a building can definitely get into your apartment. Let me tell you.
Okay. Well, at that point, I probably just, I don't even know. I jump out of my window.
Doesn't matter. You die anyway. That's how the Monte Cristo Choose Your Own Adventure with Achilles works.
I'd rather die than be in a room with a giant spider. So.
Well, now you can have both.
All right. Great. God, I'm like shuddering just thinking about it.
Now I know what to get you for your birthday.
No.
A ball full of spiders.
I'm just not going to come back from the States when I go visit in September. I'll just stay there.
A spider surprise.
Oh, boy.
Just a box full of spiders.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm worried about if, like, Papa goes back to Australia, that he's going to come back with a bunch of spiders or something and just unleash them.
Yeah, spider box, you know.
Yeah.
The greatest gift a man can give his friend.
It's like the pocket sand attack. It's
Spider box. I'm giving you a chance to overcome your fear of spiders.
I don't know if I want that. I'd rather just not like them for eternity.
That's how phobias work, right? You just expose the person to them, and then it's solved. It's cured forever.
Yeah, precisely. There's no mental scarring. You know, there's no paranoia or anything like that. It's just everything gets fixed.
Nice.
I don't know why I didn't think about that sooner. Should have just dove into a pool full of spiders by now, and I would have been fine. Haru's sticking around in mid, just gonna help shove in against Karma. Guys gotta be careful though. Assassin's gonna miss the mantra as he connects into the minions. And overall, still gonna be quite nice on that mid lane, as the Chalice already completed as he had to use that teleport off the bat, and now has a very slight CS lead as well.
Otherwise, pretty quiet early game. No quick ganks coming through. Both top laners maybe coming back to lane with Sheens. So try not to go for Doran's Ring and Dark Seal this game.
Flawless making his way up here, Shy. Gonna look for a ward inside of the Tri-Brush. So not gonna be able to spot Flawless, but knows that he's not lurking around, so he'll be safe pushing in against that Gangplank. Double Sheen for both the top laners, the Ruby Crystal coming in for Soul since he started with the Sapphire. So he'll be just a little bit faster that Trinity Force if that's what we're gonna see Shy go for. Can assume is going to be the case. Could go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, but Triforce is pretty much taken over in that regard.
Yeah. I think we're certainly going to see the Trinity Force in this game. They like getting out of there. We'll see what Haru's going to build. He may be forced to build more tanky.
Yeah, we've seen a couple different things. I mean, Proto Belt on the Elise has been something. The Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Abyssal Scepter, you know, there's a lot of different options.
Or the score build. which is pure tank. Aegis into Randuin's on Elise. You just repel in and use your Randuin's active.
I mean, playing Elise, it's a lot harder to miss a smite by 2 HP. You have that execute damage on the Q.
You do, it's true. So, always a nice feature of Elise. Ability to out-smite as long as your Venomous Bite is up.
Elise is basically the new Nunu.
Yeah. Not quite as much damage as Consume, but
It's pretty close.
I miss Nunu. Nunu's hilarious.
So do I. See, if we just have... If Nunu gets a buff, SK Telecom immediately just kills Bengi. They're like, sorry, Blank, we'll see you next year. And they just shove Bengi into the World Championship.
He's such a delightfully poorly designed champion.
He's so basic.
I know.
You attack faster.
You slow down.
I throw ice cubes at you.
Everything's targeted, yay. I stand in front of the fight and press R.
Or wait in the bush.
So bad.
But Secret Agent Bengi is one of my favorite clips.
That was so good. It's hilarious to cast that.
This guy's still suffering a little bit here. But we can see that top lane has really started to go the way of Shy. Just hammering down on Soul in those trades. Had to go back rather, refill that potion for himself, just completing the phage. So not yet having any of the stinger built up. Jump forward by Latentia. Getting the root down on the map, popped up, and he's just going to get blown up actually. Nuclear now opening up the curtain call, looking for Kramer, gets the move speed off of that little relic. One more bullet will do it, but it's not going to have a kill. Kramer still has a wave clear. He's low on mana though, so has to be careful as he sits around. He's going to miss that cannon minion pretty crucially as well.
Yeah, that was a bit of greed there from Mad Life. He could have flashed out, could have exhausted, could have tempered fate, could have done anything. And decided to go for none of the above as he got chain CC'd. And
it was so odd. Like, I didn't think anything was going to even come of that because Nuclear and Hens just literally walked up to him. And then he just sat there and took it.
Yeah, kind of awkward.
So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to get a little bit of a trade. Oh, okay. You're dead.
Yeah, definitely should have had a bit more respect for that gank. I just think he wasn't anticipating the cannon barrage coming in, and that was the error.
Yeah, having that assist now on the Soul is going to help him out quite a bit. Even though he's down in the CS, the assist coming through with the parlay gold, he's probably pretty close to even right now. So you try to keep him down as much as possible. And Haru, this is my worry coming in on this Elise, hasn't come in really for a gank anywhere. Walked into mid, helped push up against Sassen, but that's pretty much the extent of it. Hasn't come and made a visit to this top lane yet.
No real attempts here by Haru.
He's walking
on a gank. Maybe finally they might be looking at something. He does sneak into that brush.
You need to chain 2 different types of CC though. Because Gangplank, of course, has that cleanse, so you don't want to layer the cocoon with the parallel convergence or else you'll just get out of both of them. It's like Soul Might is back.
They really are hoping that Soul's going to go aggressive here and instead push all the way through the turret and try and take this down.
They might be able to take this. They do have the Sheen. Soul's going to wrap around the back and try to throw in a barrel, but he's just going to...
That would be a long chain of barrels to be able to save that, so he's not going to do it. And Shy and Haru once again going to team up for first brick in the top lane.
Now Dragon being taken. Flawless Nuclear and Enter here. Sausage roaming down, so let's just let this one go over. It's an Ocean Drake, and we're going to get another Ocean Drake.
Ooh, getting the Rift Herald will be nice for Shy.
Yeah, that'll be really good.
Yeah, it should be easy too. Good transition because Karma went down to help out with the Drake, so they'll be able to get 2 objectives in exchange for 1. And when you want that split push going well, that's certainly going to be handy to have, although it is only taking 11 minutes, so not going to last too long. Into the late game, 31 will be, nearly 32 minutes will be the number where that buff will fade away from Shy's Echo.
Well, it'll be good pickup, and hopefully Shy can continue to be oppressive to Soul, who's just now working on that stinger. Opted in for the boots of quickness so he can really kite around this Echo as best as possible. Flawless on the roam up, gonna spot out this ward. So not gonna be able to really find a gank onto Shy unless he sticks around for a significant amount of time. So it looks like he will be safe for the time being. Now, where do they go from here? It's still just a couple hundred gold, teetering back and forth between about 150 and 200 here in favor of CJ. Still haven't gotten a kill, but they get that first tower, which really helped out in equalizing the gold distribution.
But now that we have the long lane, Soul may have a bit more trouble just walking up and taking this farm. So Shy should regain his CS edge, but when you consider the parlay gold, that won't mean a whole lot. So it's about the deep vision that they can get in here. Haru actually is going to abandon the blue buff and start to invade here at enemy red. Sees there's an opportunity to maybe take this. He will be too late.
Yeah, knows he's spotted out. So won't be able to move in, try to get the smite like he did on the Wolves later on in the game. Submission going to be controlled here. All of those auto attacks onto the ward being blocked by the Unbreakable. So Mad Life not going to be able to clear out that ward. Doesn't have the sweeper up for a little bit longer, so he's just going to rotate back down to the bottom side of the map.
It's annoying. You can't defend your pink ward properly, but at least CJ does get some wards in right now. Pink ward going next to the red pit and the green ward in the red pit itself. So CJ allows Shy to continue to push up and get pressure onto the GP, which is what they want. And now some counter jungling coming in. Kramer and Mad Life happy just to continue to wave clear the bottom side. Not really an opportunity for SBENU to get auto attacks onto the tier 1 turret. So it's about just pushing this advantage. Shy low.
Haru coming back up top here, not going to get hit by that end of the line. Takes the repel over the Krugs and he'll stay safe. Shy with a pretty bold recall spot. If Flawless had spotted him out, could have dashed forward to try to get some collateral damage in, but don't make it out all the same. Haru will as well. Everybody will stay safe. So just going to be very slow pace of the game for the time being as people just try to farm up, which, not the kills coming in, this is going to be good for SBENU, keeping even with his GP. He's got the Trinity Force completed now, as does Shy, so both of them going to be outputting a good amount of damage.
See what Flawless decides to go as his first non-jungle item. Probably will be armor penetration. It should be a triple armor penetration build for SBENU. And that,
I would guess a Hexdrinker here.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Hexdrinker probably because of the Elise. But triple armor penetration is going to be very good. That even if you build a lot of armor on CJ, when it's the GP and the Jhin and the Graves all building flat armor pen, it does become much less effective. You can get away with one damage type more or less. Also, Sasin going for the early Forbidden Idol this game, so fast Chalice, or yes, Sensor, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Haru getting it jumped on, actually just gets blown up. Sasin comes up with the kill, and now Sky, the bad spot flashes away. Curtain Call's opened up, looks like he will be able to zip his way out with the Ghost. Had to use both of his summoner spells, flash down for Haru as well. He just completely vanished in that fight.
Well, that's what happens with Thunderlord's Graves. We've seen it from Winged Engineer. When you get picks with this champion and you have the opportunity to use end of the line in conjunction with your ultimate, you can absolutely melt people. Haru went Proto Belt, so he doesn't have that tankiness. Nobody on CJ really does.
Yeah. Definitely not the opt-in that you want for that sort of situation. It's going to hurt Haru a bit, as he hasn't been able to really create pressure anywhere. Visit up to the top to get that first turret is about as far as it goes. But hasn't participated in any kills, led to anything, because CJ still going to be killless on the board, and now down by about 600 after that latest pick.
Saw CJ against Kongdu when they did have the early game deficit. They really looked lost, aimless on the map. See if Sky's substitution in this series can save them from really just having non-existent shot calling. right now. Haru going to ignore the pink ward. They just want to get the turret as fast as they can.
Might have the damage for this one. Cosmic Fighting not going to lock up the Braum, so they have to peel back, but they get a good amount of damage in. Sky was down. Can't get there in time to really make a difference, so he's just going to go back over to mid and continue applying pressure to Sasin, where he has finally tied up the CS in that lane. Kramer as well started spilling over into a bit of a lead. So all of the members of CJ in a pretty good spot. That's really what is keeping the gold so close right now between these teams. Nice chain of barrels there. Comes off the Shy. And now looks like SBENU going to be opting in. This will be a second Ocean Drake for them.
That's great for the GP in the laning phase.
And 3 in a row. Okay.
Yeah, his ability to shrug off a lot of the Echo harass, especially considering that the Rift Herald was picked up by Shy, means that more farming for the GP, more of a chance to make it into the late game. Art and Sense are now done for Sasin. I like the rush on that item. We'll be able to power up the triple AD carries that he's got already on his team, and then he can build into some more AP later on with the Death Cap for the even fatter shields.
Bad Life. For Vortex, that Magical Journey out. That'll answer a bit of damage in on the Sasin. Overall, just going to be a lot of harassing coming out. Haru sitting forward in this top side of the jungle as they continue to pressure Soul in underneath the turret. Flawless is roaming up, so he gets spotted out by that ward. Now Shy, he's by himself. He's going to have to try to get out of here. That's just back. He's taking a hell of a lot. Still has the ultimate. Doesn't even get the pop it. The cannon barrage with the collateral damage takes him down. Shy just sticking around way too long.
I mean, he should have flashed, is what he should have done. He should have flashed the ultimate from Flawless.
Shy in a bad spot. A couple more hits will pop the concussive blows. Flawless comes around the side, finds another kill. Emo Plague just not able to pop in time to get that health back, and now that should be the mid-tier 1 going down. There's no one on the side of CJ to answer this. SBENU, they're starting to take a foothold in this game.
Well, we'll be traded out for the bottom turret, but Kramer and Mad Life have to start thinking about, they should not race this probably.
No, they definitely should not. It's a 2v4. They're going to stick to it. They're going to lose this tower, and I don't think they're going to be able to net this one. So he could even go ahead and teleport over if they really want to hold on to this one, but CJ, they're going to back off. They just continue to lose objectives. Now gold lead opened up here for SBENU for the first time.
Yeah, not a lot, though.
1.7 at about 20 minutes, so still nothing too crazy. They're going to be even in turrets at the end of the day. But still, CJ giving up things unnecessarily.
Shy also, he shouldn't have ulted there because it was just going to put him right back in Flawless and Soul's range, but he definitely could have flashed out of that one. Trying to open up a bigger gap to avoid the collateral damage. Instead, a kill goes over to the GP and also an assist off of Sky's death, so not going to be looking at the same level of late game scaling that we saw. Certainly Vladimir and Sivir will do well in the late game, but SBENU going to be a-okay with a gangplank of their own. And an edge already developed here for SBENU alongside taking both of the Drakes this game. CJ's got to start making moves to catch up if they want to stay in it.
Oh, curtain call here. Get a couple shots onto Shy. It's taken down concussive blows, about to proc. That's going to be the end of the line. Yet again, can't ulti, can't flash to get out. Suddenly Shy is having a very rough time on this Echo, despite being in control for the majority of the game, and that could be another tier 1 turret going over to SBENU now up in that top side of the map, and CJ aren't able to answer here in mid.
The GP and the Karma there make it difficult at this early stage to wave clear. Gotta keep working their way around. Looks like Flawless will go back, but you know, we've seen this again from Winged on Jin Air. That Thunder Lord's Graves does have absolutely immense burst. He's gone for a Mortal Reminder very early in the game, so no flat pen. But that is going to help deal with the Vladimir and the Echo. Heals.
I mean, Shy's just way too far forward, and they get the curtain call.
Yeah, didn't expect Bananas just to show up there. Makes it easy to take him out with the concussive blows. End of the line. doing its thing.
And CJ are just getting put into a deeper hole as time goes on.
It's not too deep because they didn't actually get an objective off that kill on the Shy.
But at least got a kill on Nuclear. Yeah. Is now starting to look a little bit scary on this Jhin. The Dusk Blade's completed alongside the Yoma's Ghost Blades. This is starting to become a little bit worrisome. It's still about 1.9 thousand that SBENU has as a lead. But that double Ocean Drake is really going to be doing more and more work for them as time goes on.
Yeah, it's so hard to chunk people out of lane with double Ocean Drake.
I mean, if they get triple, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, you're never going to stop the GP, basically, in a 1v1 at that stage.
So CJ definitely need to make a move and try to get that one. Try to get some picks here. The Hens flash forward, but it's not able to find anything.
Flash for flash.
Yep. Get a barrage down as well. Haru
Haru!
Connect. He's way too far forward. The tether comes out, and the collateral damage from Flawless
That
just
was
snipes him
so
out.
greedy.
I don't know why you would stick around that far up.
Well, he was just trying to get a random cocoon like tossed in there, but not respecting the Thunderlord's Graves damage at all.
Yeah, and now Shy, pretty far forward, gonna get a little bit of damage in onto that tier 2, but the wave clear clearly coming through from Soul now, who has that 2-item GP. But Shy, there's no one else in the vicinity. He can clear out the wave with the Time Winder and just try to get the kill onto that turret. Would answer a 1-for-1 as they lose the tier 1 up top. Mid getting pushed in as well, so CJ might actually be able to net themselves 2 turrets here, which would be very good for them, give them a bit of an advantage. Not in gold, but in the map control. They will be able to net both of them. They just need to be worried about this pinch. Lahen's coming in, they slow them up the Cosmic Binding. Shy, they'll make it through the magical journey, and they'll continue to keep this very close. 1.8 thousand, still what separates.
Big threat of a Baron, though, from SBENU.
Well, SBENU, you saw what happened last time. We'll have to be a bit more cautious. Kramer trying to make it through the magical journey will do so. Nuclear gets interrupted. Looks like he canceled that one himself, the Bard ultimate. He expected it to come through. Meanwhile, Shy has some alone time in this bottom lane. No GP. Yeah, he's going to get a lot of damage in. GP's pinching in from the back, but able to work that down and use 25%. Now CJ will need to get this Ocean Drake. This is going to be a really good pickup for them. So they can stop that third dragon potential coming through for SBENU, because it would just give them such a ridiculous amount of out-of-combat sustain.
There you go. At least they got one for themselves, so CJ will be very helpful for Shy. Shy's still doing well in the 1v1 here now that he has the Dead Man's Plate.
Yeah, you can see him chunking out Soul underneath this tower even. But still, CJ have not been able to find a single kill in 25 minutes of this game.
It's actually amazing that they're still under 2,000 gold behind in spite of having 0 kills to 6.
Yeah.
Most likely they
I mean, look at the CS differential in the top lane, in the bottom lane. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Kramer now 299, 300 as he passes that mark here in mid to 242.
He really needs a rapid fire cannon, though. That's the big item for him. He's got to get that. He has to have distance against Sauce and Flawless and Soul. Like, he can't be getting caught in those big zones of powder kegs and Mantrid Qs.
That's going to be my biggest concern for this build as Kramer goes in. He's only got a couple hundred. We can't obviously see where he's going for, but usually we see that Phantom Dancer coming out for the Sivir.
Yep.
So might see that happen, but the Rapid Fire Cannon would just do so much work for him and
It's
keep
not
him that much safer.
It's definitely not a typical Sivir item, but I do think it's a useful Sivir item in this, against this composition that SBENU has selected.
Oh boy, Haru going to get engaged on, popped up by the Glacial Fissure. He doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's just going to come down to his death, no flash up, and now the jungler is gone for 40 seconds. SBENU, do they try to look for this Baron? It looks like the answer is no.
They don't have the waves in a good place to actually do the Baron right now.
Good point.
And Soul, if he,
Yeah.
they can try and 4-man it, but they probably shouldn't do that because they are not very tanky. SBENU should have learned their lesson. 26 minutes in. Vladimir still has a Hemoplague to pop on you. Ricochet's going everywhere in the Baron pit with a Hemoplague means ludicrous amount of damage on SBENU.
That's nice
Take away there.
Good pickup by Kramer. And I can't really see how much HP that turret has, but I imagine it's got to be getting lower and lower. A couple more hits probably from Shy, and they'll take that one out.
Oh, it's healing up at the same time.
Heals up pretty slowly, but is fighting a bit of an uphill battle. And this Gangplank does do a good amount of damage. Finally has that Hex Drinker in, so he's going to be mitigating a bit more. Has that shield to really keep himself alive against the Echo. So he's going to be faring a bit better. And you can see the CS hasn't really climbed that much in favor of Shy. It's only 15 as a difference. And with Parlay, the kill and the 4 assists, he definitely has a massive lead over top of the Echo at the moment.
Why does Haru have an Abyssal Scepter? His build this game is
I don't know.
just really wacky.
It needs to just transition fully in the tank.
I totally think you rush Aranduins in this game.
At least no Rylai's.
So one of the big reasons he's kept dying. We can go back even further. Why even pick Elise? Because they weren't able to do anything with the Elise in the early game. Gragas would be a million times more useful at 28 minutes at 0-3-0.
I agree.
And especially an Elise who has an Abyssal against a Karma, basically, and 3 Armor Pen AD champions. This build is awful.
Well, it's what Haru has decided on, and it also just kind of shows why he was one of the highest death rates in the regular split for summer.
Well, at least Kramer has agreed with me on build. Rapid Fire Cannon third.
Good man, Kramer. He surprises you sometimes with being correct. But looks like we might have a fight breaking out around the river. No, just gonna take that magical journey out. Mad Life getting jumped down to about half HP. He's gonna drink up on that Coco and keep himself alive and healthy. Turret has regened a bit, just below 50%. You can see that Shy is starting to struggle a bit in this lane against Soul. It's getting harder and harder for him.
I'm pretty sure Mad Life plays that skin so you can remember when Coco was on his team.
Just that nice little reminder that those good memories. Oh boy, Mad Life, don't go around that corner. Mad Life, don't you go around that corner. He's going around that corner, oh God. Has a sweeper, but he clips him in the brush. You can see him, I believe. Their outlines, yep, he knew. He barely caught a glimpse. And that just halted a potential disaster from occurring.
Still no vision on the actual Baron, however.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Big burst of damage going in on the Flawless. Shield from Saucin. Cannon Barrage burned out by Soul as well. And now CJ might be able to just push up into mid. Still have that wave clear coming through from GP though. And Sky, he's going to rotate up to the top lane, trying to get that moving. Actually going to bounce back down. And let them get the recall. So CJ not really able to make a play off of forcing Flawless back, but still just shows how much damage they really do have in their kit.
Yeah, and how squishy SBENU is too, but Trinity Force advanced plate, that's a pretty high damage 2IM combo onto Echo. Now we're waiting 5 seconds until the Infernal Drake arrives. That is going to be a really important objective in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if that gets handed over to the Gangplank, he is going to be doing a really ridiculous amount of damage. You can see CJ already on the fast track, though, to move in here. Should be able to start this up. Soul now in the base, has the teleport available, but Nuclear starting to wander up towards top. So yeah, they're just going to let this go over. So Infernal Drake falls. So.
It is more useful for CJ than it is for SBENU. SBENU has plenty of damage. That's not their problem, so they're not going to commit to that fight.
He'd have more damage.
So be it. Soul actually going for Sterix this game.
Oh, okay.
An item we occasionally see onto GP, but
yeah, I wasn't sure. I saw he had
he is worried about getting
sub-item there, but I wasn't sure where he was going to go with it.
Yeah, he is worried about getting bursted out here.
As he should be. We saw what happened to Flawless, so.
Especially by like a Hemoplague pop, that could be.
Yeah. Just going to be precautious. SBENU still having this lead. This 2,000 gold, just about Kramer with a nice spell shield. Going to make sure he doesn't get rooted out. They'll be able to go ahead and back off in mids. SBENU not able to find an opening, and Baron's still going to remain on the board here. No one going for it. Oh, man. The Hen's just getting picked off. Flashes back, but he's just not going to be able to make it out. Now Bard ultimate going to come through and catches all of the spiders. Not going to find any of the members of SBENU, though.
I like the golden spiders in the sky, Achilleos.
I don't.
Little spiderlings. What? They're frozen. They can't hurt you.
All right, that's fair.
Actually, the spiders can't hurt you anyway, so I suppose that wasn't really.
Depends on where you're at and what spiders you're talking about, man.
Not the ones in Korea.
Oh, well, it's going to be a stun on the flawless from the parallel convergence. Shy goes in deep. And that's going to be a tier 2 tower going down. CJ making some moves. Finally got a kill on the board. 1-7 in that regard. They're going to bring it within 1,000 gold now, as they have a 2-tower lead.
Best part of those kills, too, is CJ did not have to use any flashes to get them. Picking that one up onto Lehens very easily, and they got it because they were pushing up the side waves. The side wave control has been better for CJ in about the last 10 minutes of this game. So because they had pressure, they were able to walk into the enemy jungle and punish Lehens for going into river.
Yep, and now Kramer, he's 20 CS away from Flame Horizoning Nuclear right now. Pretty disgusting, even for a Sivir. Because if he pulls that off, he'll have about 100 CS over perfection.
Well, the weird thing about this game, Achilleos, is even though SBENU has 2 teleports and CJ doesn't, CJ's been farming all the waves better, like a lot better.
Well, we saw that with the wave prep coming in from SBENU. They get an advantage to get a kill, but they couldn't take an objective because the waves just weren't set.
Yeah, and the problem is that they are sacrificing a lot of farm because they're only farming 2 lanes, whereas CJ's been more reliably farming all 3.
Oh boy, Haru though, yet again getting caught out. It's going to go low, gets a cocoon in. Will go in with a repel, makes it over to the Baron, doesn't get triggered. No, it's not. And Kramer moves in, gets a big kill in, onto the Braum, flashes away, keeps himself alive, and now Nuclear going low. Mad Life up at the front, goes at the Bard ultimate, will catch Flawless. Nuclear still on the chase, not able to find anything. Sky's going to jump forward, goes into the Zonias. Can he stay alive? Curtain Call opened up. This could be devastating for CJ if Nuclear can find the shots, but he's actually going to cancel it after the first bullet. CJ dangerously low, but it looks like they will be able to back off after finding another kill onto Lehens.
Yeah, lots of kills coming through right there. Haru looking like he was going to get caught, but Kramer coming through with both summoners.
Flame Horizon.
To actually, there you go, Flame Horizon. Actually hits it, but Kramer doing a lot of work right there. He actually did get a Bloodthirster as his 4th item. Very concerned with his survivability, needs that overshield to help deal with the burst.
Yeah, and now another dagger, so this could be the Phantom Dancer coming in last. So he has that added dueling potential.
I mean, he certainly doesn't need our penetration, so.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be in such a good spot now. 2 kills. The 2 kills that CJ has have ended up onto the Sivir.
He's been playing really well in these team fights, so props to him. He's turned that
this is like the Kramer,
CS advantage into damage.
This is like the Kramer that we saw in spring when CJ were on their win streak. Granted, he was playing Ezreal a lot at that point, but now with this Sivir, he's been looking pretty immaculate. His CS record right now is phenomenal.
All right, a little skirmish coming down now. Haru will skitter away back into the forest. SBENU tries to reclaim, but they just don't have side lane pressure. They don't have anybody down there. How do you have 2 teleports and have nobody in bot lane right now?
Well, Soul's going back. He's going to go ahead and meet up with Shy.
But it's always SBENU dancing to the beat of CJ's drum here. It's never them being active and trying to deal with this. And yes, it is hard to deal with Shy right now, but I think Soul should be able to handle it with a Hex Drinker and Asterix.
Well, now Shy is going to be able to take away that blue buff, so even more harass coming in from his side of things. He'll pick that up. He's got the Guardian Angel available. You can see, even with the parlay and those 4 assists, Shy not participating in any kills. Is just 200 gold behind.
Well,
so he's been keeping it really close.
More turrets. Also, there's a 50 CS advantage.
Oh, Soul just not having as much impact as Shy had in the last game here. So he uses the ultimate to snap back in. He's going to keep up this constant pressure. CJ have some vision with that pink ward inside the Baron pit, but just can't really make a move for it yet.
Make a move potentially for an Elder Dragon here would be, they can buy enough time. They certainly have the minion waves in a good place. I don't want to give up that Baron, and
they have the consistent damage as well to help burn it down. They have to be worried if they go for the Elder Dragon that SBENU just goes straight over to the Baron. So they need to be assured that that's not going to happen. See this turret not really recovering that much HP. Still sitting around half at the moment.
never really the foothold that they need to actually move onto this Baron. Playing it about as cautiously as they can. Finally going to take out a ward the pick. Couple of pinks there. Same thing for SBENU though. Should be the patience game here.
Oh
Mario
boy.
got a face check that
Yeah,
one.
he goes low. It's going to be the cannon barrage coming out. Flawless pushing forward, throws out the collateral damage, but it's not going to be enough to come up with the kill. And Mad Life exits with that magical journey over into the Baron pit.
That was nice actually. Got two ults out, and Haru didn't have to burn his flash.
Yeah.
That was another timing that they can work on here as Shy playing with fire a little bit. Maybe doesn't have the wards to be quite that deep.
Yeah, wouldn't spot him if they come out of the base gate, I don't think. So somebody could wrap around on his left flank, but still just going to be playing up. Now the Wolf Spirit there. Jungle for SBENU. So just trying to keep tabs on anybody from CJ if they go in to get some vision. Elder Dragon has spawned. Baron's been here. But so far, no one moving in for either objective. Shy just really trying to get something out of Soul. His flash is almost up. If you could have burned that in this bottom lane, that'd be a pretty big win here for the Echo. But actually, the Baron buff started up, down to half HP.
Wow, nice job.
They're really working this thing down. Ward comes in, Flawless waiting over the wings. Haru needs to be able to confirm this one. He's going low. It's almost taking him down. Sky on the backside, trying to chunk out Flawless. He goes into the pit. Can he find him out? Flawless is going to take it away. He gets burned out immediately, but so does Haru. Yet again, Haru cannot get the smite, even with Elise. With that execute damage, loses it, and suddenly SBENU have such a strong chance to fight back.
There's something about CJ on this blue side. They can never keep people out from over the wall. Second steal from a red side team on them tonight. And now they're in trouble. All their pressure is going to waste. They may lose the Elder Dragon too. Flawless dies, but so does Haru.
Might just lose Mad Life. Nice magical journey will take him out before the Glacial Fissure connects. Doesn't look like SBENU are in that good of a position to really go for the Elder Dragon yet.
And they tried to be sneaky right there, and Haru just trying to two-man it alongside Kramer, but the Vlad, even though he's got the Rylai, just couldn't provide the crowd control on the outside to stop Flawless. And how exactly did this go down? I mean, Haru spends a lot of time in human form right here. And there you go. Sivir ult comes out.
I don't even know if he's in spider form when this dies. He's not.
No, he just gets bursted down. And Flawless does so much damage. His rotation of spells. They were trying to save it.
He was trying to hit him with the cocoon when he came
Yeah.
in, but he was just way too late to it.
Also on the wrong side of the pit.
Yeah.
Realistically. And yes, they were trying to not deal damage to Baron anymore. They were trying to turn with the Sivir ult, but at 1500, that is well within Flawless's range with how much damage this Graves does right now.
Yeah, end of the line, collateral damage, smite, it's all there for him. And now SBENU, they have already a bit of a lead, just 500 gold, so CJ are still in a decent spot, but with 4 members with Baron buff, they're going to be looking to take some of these structures. They've only taken out 3 turrets so far.
Uh-oh.
2 in the mid.
Nice
Shy,
flank, nice flank.
Shy's coming in from behind. He's throwing the parallel convergence, going to throw it in a good
Nice
spot.
job.
Flawless going low. He's going to get caught up here. The ultimate as he goes into that golden state. The Hens almost going down. Curtain call opened up, but most of CJ are out of the range. Shy going to take a couple of these bullets. Still safe, has that Guardian Angels. As does Lehens, as he is still chunked out. Cocoon is going to jump away to the side. Nice stand behind me to take the saving, but Soul going low. That's going to be the boomerang coming through. Gets a slow up. Kramer flashes forward, gets the big crit, takes out the gangplank. That's going to be a crucial part of the wave clear here. Gone on the side of SBENU, and now the ping's coming out. CJ, they're going to be looking for the Elder Dragon, which is a must if they want to stay in this game.
Wow, Kramer's aggressive flashes in this game have been the saviors
Oh,
of
they're going to
CJ.
pitch right back into mid. They get the Guardian Angel away from Shy, but Mad Life comes forward. Not able to get the Cosmic Binding, but Kramer comes up with a kill onto Flawless, and now Saucin trying to run away. They jump forward with that Proto Belt. Sky very much on the hunt. Speaking of which, Kramer goes ahead, pops this one out. They zip forward, they take him down, and they are going to lose the Baron buff on multiple members of SBENU right there. CJ, where do they go from here? Is it the Elder Dragon? Do they try to go for something in mid? Still 15 seconds on Soul. When he comes up, the wave clear and the damage from SBENU is going to have to be respected.
Wow, they traded 2 members for a GA. Just terrible from SBENU, and now CJ gonna reverse the Baron push into the Baron empowered minions. They're gonna be the one who take an inhibitor, but Kramer, man, he is just showing up in this game.
And this is the Kramer that we were touting before as potentially a top 3 in Korea as an AD carry. It vanished for so long, but here in this game, granted, it's against SBENU Sonicboom. Here in this game, he's at least having a strong performance. His CS is through the roof. His aggressive plays are calculated. He's not being punished for them. He's looking much like he did in spring. And you just have to wonder, where was this Kramer? Where was this for so damn long in summer?
Yeah, it was really interesting because he went from like the highest DPM player, damage per minute player in this league in spring, and he was so thoroughly mediocre in that category this summer. But it's not, the calculated aggression is very good here. Yeah. He's been able to really just use his summoners when he knows 100% that he will get that kill. And it's those picks that have been driving CJ forward. He's got 100% kill participation right now.
Yeah, he's got 4 of the 6 kills that have come through. It's been full items, got that Phantom Dancer as the last one, and he's also over 100 CS up where you technically would be at a 10 per minute.
Certainly doing well. 5,000 gold ahead of Nuclear.
Oh man, can he double flame Horizon Nuclear by the end of this game?
Might well be able to. We'll see. He's on his way. So now CJ has time. He can wait for the next Baron buff. Base has been cracked. CJ have the upper hand to go ahead and take this series 2-0 and keep their hopes of staying in Champions alive.
You know what's so confusing to me right now, though, is that they keep assigning Shy to this bottom lane where he's not going to be able to get that much work done. But there's a tier 2 sitting in top this whole time that he could have been splitting against.
I mean, Shy, they want him far away from the Baron with the teleport. Certainly that can be matched by Soul, but they keep sending Soul down there and he keeps winning those trades. So now they can split push effectively.
Collateral damage thrown out.
Just clear the minion wave.
Yeah, they get a couple hits in, but overall not going to get a whole lot done. Shy moving in. Eating that turret and getting slowed up by that barrel explosion, though, so that's going to equalize the trade for the most part for Soul.
Look at that ricochet damage.
Yeah, 800 per hit. Pretty ridiculous, but SBENU, their wave clear is still strong with this Graves, with this Karma, so they're going to be all right to just hold on to that. Shy's got to be careful, doesn't have that GA up for a little bit longer. It's about 3/4 off cooldown. Now everybody rotates into mid, so that should be the opening here for CJ to go ahead and take out that tier 2 tower. It's just pretty much a waiting game there for SBENU. Knew that they could hold on to it the entire time, so they'll just surrender it over, and CJ can pick up another structure, and even though they lost that Baron, they are now up by almost 6,000 gold.
Okay, well, still an opportunity here. They've got to push up the mid wave before they recall for this Baron. They don't want to lose their control over the jungle. They're going to try and Death Brush.
They lose another Baron.
Try and Death Brush.
If Nuclear were to walk up there, he would get burned out pretty quickly. Saucin moving forward. The Q's not going to connect. Cocoon goes in, finds Nuclear, but they're not able to collapse in time.
No, that was actually the Cocoon they wanted, but they didn't follow up. They didn't expect to be that successful.
They were surprised that they weren't ready for it to actually connect.
Wow, Shy. Dueling here.
They get the Cannon Barrage out of the gangplank.
That's really nice.
So that's going to be really crucial fighting around this bit. Pushing in, going to be looking for Lehens. Slow him up. Can't get the Cosmic Binding though. Mad Life gets chunked down to about half. have to be careful. Shy still just maintaining this pressure. The Guardian Angel almost back up for him. Meanwhile, Haru has his.
Yeah, he went back and healed up, used his ult to get back into lane.
Looking for another death rush. They find the cocoon. Are they able to blow up? Yes, they are. Sasin is gone, and CJ, they say, okay, it's go time. Go straight over to this Baron, but they still have to be worried about Flawless. And this curtain call that gets opened up now by Nuclear. It's just barely missed by the Bard ultimate by Madlight. He shorted it by a pixel. Will fire off all of the shots, get some good damage in, but CJ still relatively healthy as the Baron goes down. Madlife and Kramer going to be looking to pitch around the backside of this pit, getting some damage in onto Lehens. He throws out that Glacial Fissure. Kramer popping on the hunt, just trying to shove off Flawless, and here comes Shy on the backside with the teleport, just completely keeping him busy, and CJ, they'll finally be able to get the Baron for themselves. Shy continuing the push, can be fearless with this Guardian Angel that he now has restored onto him. But CJ finally picking up the tool that has eluded them for so long in this game and might just help them close out a 2-0 over SBENU.
Took a little bit long there for Shy to get in. He did have to initiate a full recall before TPing and getting into that position, but does make it there eventually, does finally zone out the jungler effectively, and now CJ look like they're going to take this series 2-0.
Yeah, this is going to be the inhibitor going down. Lehens trying to push forward. Still has the Guardian Angel, but he's low on HP. Sky pushing in from below, takes a good chunk off of Flawless, and now both inhibitors are down yet again. It's going to be Shy catching the wave, or Haru rather, catching the wave down, and Bot going to move that forward so they can just look for the third inhibitor. CJ, they don't want to take any chances. They're going to try to move up every single wave and let Shy be the one that plays a little bit recklessly. You can see him taking a lot of damage there from Nuclear and Sasin. As these Baron-powered super creeps do push forward, but the third and final inhibitor turn is gone. The third inhibitor is going to fall. Cannon Barrage comes down. Curtain Call opened up. Can they find the shots? Looks like it might have been interrupted there by the Bard ultimate. It was. And now Soul in a bad spot. Has to back off. Has that Hemo Blade ticking, but he gets a nice big shield from Sasin in the end to keep him alive. Almost certainly would have killed him there. You can see Kramer with the Ricochet crits is clearing out these waves as they spawn underneath the towers. And these cannon minions are starting to do some work. Now the super creeps coming in on the mid side. Top going to be joining them momentarily. First Nexus turret down to about 15%. It's going to fall. Second one going down as well. CJ, I think they might have done it. Sky going low, going to try to trade back some damage, get some health back. Flawless jumps in. Nice Sonia's comes through. The Nexus exposed. CJ, they get onto it. They're going to keep their hopes alive of staying in the LCK. They take down SBENU Sonicboom 2-0. Sorry, SBENU, your time is nigh. You're not making it back into the LCK this time around. Better luck next year in spring.
Yeah, that's
but
tough.
for CJ Entus, they're going to have to play a best of 5 on Saturday to stay in. They're not out of the woods yet. They're going to have to play against the winner of Kongdu Monster and ESC Ever.
Loser.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, I know.
All right. That's what I have you here for, Monty. You keep me in check.
Yeah, the loser will be facing CJ, and tough for SBENU. They did have an undefeated 7-0 in best of 3 summer season, regular season, and challenger, but it wasn't enough. Couldn't win the finals versus Kongdu. And now we will be seeing either ESC or Kongdu make it in. Loser of that will fight CJ for the very last seed. And look at the damage there. You can see Kramer really delivering. Of course, SBENU with their high damage composition showing up with quite a bit, but it was the pressure. It was really the minion wave control from SBENU that was not great.
Yeah. And that's going to feel pretty damn bad. Here's SBENU Sonicboom getting knocked out of the LCK by the team that they lost to earlier today in ESC Ever, and then having that last-ditch effort against CJ, the worst team in the league for summer, and still not able to do it, getting beaten 2-0.
Well, especially the way that game number 1 went, where they had such a nice advantage, and then decided to do that atrocious 22-minute Baron. That's a call that will be haunting them for quite some time.
Well, you live and you learn. We'll see if SBENU will stick around, compete in next year's Challenger Series, as they will try to get in for the spring split, or after the spring split, rather.
Let's take a look at our results for today.
But yeah, in case you guys did miss that first match, ESC Ever taking down SBENU in a 2-1. leading them into this losers game that just happened against CJ Entus. CJ losing to Kongdu Monster as well. That was a 0-2 loss for them, but CJ, they bounce back. They come in with a 2-0. And honestly, Sky, we questioned it, taking up BDD. Sky performed pretty well on the Vladimir, but of course that's been a pick that we've kind of associated with him. It's in his comfort zone.
Well, really the shot calling was much better in that second
Yes.
best of 3 from CJ. They looked like a train wreck.
But man, Shy and Kramer, the two players that really stepped up in that.
Yeah.
But because of the results from today, on Thursday, same time, we're going to have ESC Ever versus Kongdu Monster coming in. And that's going to be a best of 5 set. The loser of that goes on to face CJ Entus. The winner will retain or gain a spot in LCK for the spring split of 2017.
Yeah, both those teams. So with 2 more chances moving into that winners match, should be interesting. I actually thought Kongdu did really well in game number 2. That poke comp was executed with a certain amount of finesse. ESC in the games that they won was pretty clean, but that game 2 was against SBENU was a little bit shaky there. Really inconclusive.
Yeah, for sure. But congrats to the winners. Congrats to CJ for sticking it out so far. Still need that best of 5. That'll happen on Saturday. We're going to find out who they're playing against on Thursday when we see that match of Kongdu versus ESC. So we'll join you guys then at 1 p.m. here in Korea for that matchup. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back with Papa Smithy for that match. So we'll see you then. Have a good night.